Good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of Department of Regulatory Affairs, Sri Vishnu College of Pharmacy, I warmly welcome to the national webinar on Regulatory Affairs 4.0 Industrial Perspectives in the Digital Era. We are honored to have Mr. Dheeraj Kotagiri, Senior Business Development Executive at Industry Iceberg Solutions, as today's speaker. I thank our management principal, Dr. K.S. Nataraj Garu, faculty members, and all participants for joining the webinar. Now, I invite our speaker to start the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prasanthi ma'am, to inviting me as a speaker to take this seminar like regulatory affairs in prospectus in industry in digital era. So I am the Dheeraj. So I am working as a senior business development at Industry Iceberg Solutions, like regulatory, quality, and in licensing opportunities. So now I'll be starting with the seminar with the presentation. So is my screen is visible? I am putting in slide share mode.
Yes, visible, you can start.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So in this national webinar today, we are discussing about what are the prospectus will be happening in the pharmaceutical industry for the regulatory affairs. So in this accordingly, first we can discuss about the what is meant by like regulatory affairs. So regulatory affairs is generally a bridge between the pharmaceuticals and biologics between the company and regulatory authorities for submission of safety, quality, efficacy standards. So generally, in if you go to the pharmaceutical industries, there are the two types of department. One is of regulatory affairs, one is of regulatory operations. In the sense of regulatory affairs, so first of all, this is a life cycle which is happening in pharmaceutical industry, starting from regulatory project management. For example, if you are seeking for any sort of product, you are into pharmaceutical industry, first the regulatory project manager has to connect with the so and so client for delivering of that project and for the execution budget and how many molecules they are filing and how much they are going into the countries and for what countries they are interested. So after that, they will prepare a white paper and control correspondence. Accordingly, they will go to for facility and they will do that regulatory due diligence, and they will confirm the for what country the industry should go and for what they need to get a filing from that regulatory agencies. And after that, once if they're done, they will start the audit and inspection from the audit will be done by the company and inspection was done from the agency to get an GMP certificate. Meanwhile, they will start the regulatory filing strategy in different countries. If you go to like SRA countries or ROW markets, so they will start the filing, and after that the filing they will go to for like ICH reviewing and the compilation. This is nothing but ready dossier. According to ICH guideline, they will follow the clear instructions according to Q, quality, safety, efficacy, and multidisciplinary. So I didn't mention that CTD modules, how much like I will not go to depth, that everyone like from regulatory may be knowing. They will have there for 5 modules. Module 1 of administrative information, and module 2 it will be like a quality overall summary. Module 3 it is in that drug product, that sections will be there in the module 3. What will be there in the module 3, it will be coincide with module 2 and module 4 of non-clinical and module 5 of the clinical services, along with toxicology and pharmacovigilance reports. So that is of one department. And second department, if you go to for regulatory affairs, they will sort out for the labeling and artwork. So after that completion of that, according to different countries, like if you say like US and Canada, they will accepting of the SPL, like a structured product labeling format for the regulatory affairs of dossier, what is I can say for the packaging. So this is called the SMPC. SMPC is nothing but of a summary product summary product characteristics. This is called the SMPC. So SMPC, based on SMPC only, we'll be preparing the label and the artwork. Means, for example, if you take any of oral sprays or nasal sprays, you can see in that one packaging leaflet, like what is a warning, what are the precautions, and what are the contraindications. So what is the mechanism of the action we'll be seeing in that of packaging of leaflet. It will be there in that carton box, like for oral sprays, and for even for some of the you can see for the tablets. So this information about of a safety labeling changes, like if there is any adverse reactions was happened if they're taking of consuming of the drug. So this information they will be preparing of the labeling. So this is also related to regulatory affairs of the department, and these two departments will be considered for the regulatory affairs. Just this is a brief interaction. What is the regulatory affairs, difference between regulatory affairs and operations in pharmaceutical industry with respect to submission for the digital era. And coming here, the main part is like regulatory operations in digital era for submission management. For example, as I discussed in the first slide about the CTT modules of 5 modules, once the modules preparation was done from the regulatory affairs department. So after the review and the process, like in 2 sections, one is for they will for dossier preparation they will do for one is for API and one is for even for the drug product also. For APIs, we'll file as like as a DMF in 3 to S section, and for drug product, we'll do it as in 3 to P section. So in that they will have many sections and subsections like related to specifications, analytical method validations, COAs, and everything. Documents will be about of reference standards. Everything will be included in the dossier. Once the regulatory affairs department has completed the dossier preparation, then it will go for the regulatory operations. So actually, like in to discuss about that, like ECTD is meant by electronic common technical document. It is mainly of standardized electronic format, used by many pharmaceutical companies for the dossier filing, even for the intermediates for active pharmaceutical ingredient excipients in type 4, type 2, and type 4, type 3, and type 4 DMFs, like excipients and packaging materials, and finished dosage form to various regulatory authorities. Like usually before 1 year back, only the stringent regulatory bodies only stringent regulatory bodies only accepting of ECTD format, rather than other countries like ROW market will accept only PCTD format. PCTD is nothing but paper common technical document. So in this digital era, like in US FDA, like EMA or UK or Health Canada, whatever, like in regulated and even for the semi-regulated market also, like if you go to for the SAFRA, that is related to of South Africa, it is belongs to market. So these countries are accepting the ECTD format for the regulatory submission to make it an easier way. So in this presentation, we can discuss about what is meant by ECTD. So ECTD, we are having of next gen ECTD software in this of an AI tool where you can insert an dossier into that, and accordingly we can see that component level, document level, report level, and submission level publishing. So component level, in the sense, they have different components like 3 to S, 3 to S2, 3 to P1. They are the different sections. So so this software, by using of AI tool, it will link between 1 to 1 section, that is called component level. And coming to the document, like document means it will give external hyperlinking and the compilation. This is like linking of a dossier. So according to US FDA and EMA, they will accept only the dossier in the section format along with their name. Like let's say if, I'll give an example like 3 to P. So 3 to P1 is belongs to specification. 3 to P is called the name of the section, and specification is called the document of that part. So this is called, it will be involved in document level publishing. So these are mainly follows the, according to ICH Q7, it will follow about GMP guidelines, which is given by EU GMP. So these guidelines and everything, like they will do the first they will perform the like take the checklist from QA before going into this format, and after that they will verify whether the all the documents are having with respect to has all the documents has been collaborated with that BMR report or MFR remote or packaging material. Everything is done in quietly. They will be checking these people, and after the one check is performed, and they will track and they will submit to agency by using this software. In this software, if once if you have uploaded, also you can replace and delete the section, and even you can change the name of the document until unless you submit to portals to regulatory agencies. Like if you tell, like portal means like Sangam portal is for Indian CDSCO, like another portal like a CPC portal for like EMA. They are the like different portals will be there for to submit this documentation to agencies. So in this criteria, it will save a lot of time and a lot of consumption of the paper means it will take around of 200 or 300 pages, and there is a loss of even a single document also. It will create a major impact for the company to pay penalty fees for the ANDA, for if you say in the for the Europe and US market. So this is about the like how we are using of next gen ECD software in like a submission management for regulatory operation. So this is a one graph which I was estimated. So before era we have started like paper era. Paper era means nothing but of PCT. Before, if you go like 15 years or 20 years of a back, so there is no such kind of submission software available in markets. So in that they're used to file even for EMA and USFA also. They're used to file on paper only, like it is called the PCT format. So there is no chance for changing. There is no chance for editing of a document is if once is submitted to that agency, and after that they went for NES submission. NES is non-electronic submission gateway, that is called the non-ECTD. So in this format is nothing but here we cannot even the change. This is a documented format, but we cannot do this type of things like what I was mentioned, like changing and replacing. So it will consume a lot of time to submit to agency. Now we are using of the next gen ECT software 4.0 version and AI tool. So in this era software, you can replace or you can modify according to, and you can set it out for the page orientation, like agency will accept only the portrait mode. The agency doesn't will accept the dossier in landscape mode. So if you take, I worked in previously with some companies like Hetero for filing of regulatory dossier. So when I used to get an like a report from a quality department, the report will be there in the landscape mode, but agency required to keep it in portrait mode by using of an OCR. OCR also is necessary. OCR is nothing but selection of that particular strength or particular word in that PDF format. So in this sense, this is called the next gen ELN software. This is a laboratory electronic notebook which is used in the pharmaceutical industries by many R&D, AR&D, and analytical departments. This is used to enhance the productivity and the compliance. Productivity in the sense, for example, if you now we are writing in that estimations and calculations on the book, but in this software it will generate by using the system. So thus helps to lab documentation process, reducing the manual error, manual errors and improving the efficacy. So it will make easier for the documentation process. Means you can easily search for 1 2 3 pages by selecting and a single click on that, and reducing the manual errors. For example, if you want to calculate any strength, or if you calculate any dissolution rates, or if you want to calculate any HPLC related to molarity or such kind of thing, it will easily ultimately calculate by using this software by some calculator, rather than going with book. Rather than writing in the manuals, it will create some error. Like if it say like any essay, if you calculate, like if you get an value like 95 or 99, so this will give an accurate result. So it will enhance the data integrity. It will store a lot of data even when agency will come for an any inspection. So they, by single click, they can see the whatever the chemicals was manufactured and whatever this lab has done, easily they can audit and they can inspect for their approval and real time tracking. So they can track, so when this was done, like it was done maybe on 6th or the 7th of this month, and what is an solution for that, they easily they can track. If they're having of any warning letters or any related to CAPAs. CAPAs is nothing but corrective preventive actions, how they can do the modify and the correct. So they can easily the track, and easy documentation review. So it will be easier even for the inspector who is coming for the agency. It will be easier to review rather than taking off much more on the paper. It may miss or it may lost. If anything related to industry, it may, like if any, like for example, if the industry has any fire accidents, or it may lose even that papers also, like efficient communication. So it will be easier to communicate to each and everyone, and easy to explain in a prominent way to understand the requirement, how we are doing that laboratory calculations and notebook with respect to meet the compliance for the approval from the agency. And time and cost saving, it will save a lot of time for the even for the calculation part. And it is of the cost saving means papers, it will take a lot of time. And for if you want to like export that paper to other countries, it will costing of lot of money for that courier charges and everything. By this software, they can easily access anywhere, and they can see if the company is located in Hyderabad, if the company is located in even in the Ahmedabad, they can easily access from anywhere, and they can see whatever the things that we're doing in this between these two locations. And coming to like AI data and structuring process in the regulatory affairs. So here, like some of the AI driven tools are there in coming slides for regulatory submissions, by automating of ECTD, enhancing the benefit risk assessment, and leveraging the structural format for ISO and ID identification for medical product to boost the enable and time to regulatory decisions. So like in ECTD format, it will be easy to identify, to check the whether how much you have done the dossier to regulatory intelligence. In this picture, you can know, like before, like 3 2 people will be working, but it by using the software, single person can use it anywhere, and they can touch bases at from any locations, in different locations also they can access. So now regulatory intelligence from 3 to 4 people, now it becoming to 1 people. Means if like 90% of ECTD automation checks where will be doing in that agency. Means out of 100%, 90% of the pharma companies, they are using the ECTD software for submission of the dossier to agencies. So here, like I will be telling about you, we are having of some AI tools related to our company in-house team has developed these tools, like cutting edge solutions to modern digitalization era in regulatory compliance. First tool is called the compliance loop. In this compliance loop, for example, if someone is looking for to search any CDMO is nothing but contract development manufacturing organization, contract research organization, and analytical search engine. For example, if you are sitting in your facility and you are looking for any product manufacturer, like if you are looking for any like paracetamol or ibuprofen tablet to manufacture in so and so facility, like if you're looking for any USFDA facility, or any if you're looking for EMA facility, you're looking for the like regulatory complaint. Like compliance means in the sense the facility doesn't have any warning letters. If you're looking easily, this software will identify and will connect to reach to global partners, assuring the like regulatory and compliance at every step. Will be checking the from the company and means connecting between the CDMO with the client. And second one is called the complaisance. In this is of a GMP checks. For example, if there is in industry, some inspector came for the to perform an audit in the industry. So if there is any CAPAs or 483 observations or warning letters after examining, sorry, not CAPAs, if the inspector came into the company for to inspect and to conduct an audit, and after the verifying checks, if he find the APA, there is a lot of impurities will be there in API material because of toxicology people doesn't estimated the properly. So if the API has the lot of impurities means, so this inspector will not give that complaints. They will generate an warning letter. So and so this APS doesn't meet the specific criteria regulatory requirement. So after that, this tool will help to set it out for the kappa. If you keep warning letter and 483 observations in this tool, it will ultimately generate the kappa solution. Means how you can rectify that error, and what are the circumstances for that error, and how to get an approval from that agency. Like that, it will generate. I'll show the after this presentation. I will show you in the website. And coming to Vertiga Scribe, it is a protocol review. In this protocol, if you're writing for any like medical writing or ICR reports, like adverse reaction report, anything related to pharmacovigilance, or if you're writing for any of SOPs, it will ultimately automation, and it will write an protocol report based on that solution what which we are including in this tool. And coming to the LMS is nothing but it is a type of the software of training tool which we are using for the, like, let's have Coursera. So in the Coursera in tool, we are seeing a lot of training videos related to different part. So in this of LMS tool also, you can see like trainings, like let's say for how to do it in like microbiological sterility testing, and how to perform like any manufacturing like granulation or other thing of to do it in laminar hair flow unit. What are the circumstances, what is the procedure, what is of a dress code you need to have there while doing this experiment. This is all training tool we have developed. And coming to at last ECDA submission of an dossier. In this software you can see, for example, if I prepare the dossier and I forgot to mention the strength. For example, if you take the paracetamol of 650 mg, so 350 mg, if I forgot to mention the strength in any single part of dossier, this tool generally it will identify, and it will tell to that applicant who is filing applicant. So they will automatically detect, and they can easily assure, so this is a mistake what I was done here, and they can go to again back to dossier, and they can replace. So as I discussed about, it will create about of OCR detections. For example, OCR means of page orientation. For example, if in different sections, in one section you mistaken to see the OCR like it was there in landscape mode, so again it will become problematic for the agency to rectify this. So in this tool, you ultimately to identify this space is like this, and you can even go back and you can set it out in portrait mode for that particular document what we are looking for. This is called the ECTD submission gateway for the AI tool. And coming to challenges, so I explained about I discussed what is about of regulatory affairs in pharma industry, and I was discussing about whatever the regulatory operations which we are using in AI tools like ECTD, submission gateway, compliance loop. So there are the many challenges faced by the government. First one, lagging policy framework. For example, if this ECTD tool is there, AI tool, it should be aggregated by this agency to submit this format to the like agency. For example, in Indian agencies, they like CDSCO, they will have Sangam portal. Sangam portal must be having the link with this ECTD tool to submit the dossier. That is called the lagging policies. If the software was not up to mark, if the software doesn't contain any validations or any ICH proper regulations are not involved in that software, so that agency will not allow this software to submit the dossier. And second part is about the cross-border compliance, like a global digital market demand harmonized international regulations. So they will ultimately check the regulatory compliance of the industry while filing the dossier to get an approval from the agency. So many markets facing this issue with US FDA. Like one of the company I can say, they have used intermediate from other company. Like after filing of API, they have taken from Glenmark, and they have used API intermediate from other company. So while preparing of a finished product, they got an warning letter from the agency because of the compliance of that facility. So that should be very accurate checks should be done before submitting dossier to agency. And coming to risk management, so assuring the consumer protection and financial stability without the innovations. So risk means for example, if you doesn't have that much like investment to invest in the software, so do not go for that. Be in only the markets for what you are going. For example, if the RO this Europe and US market is is very like a stringent market as compared to the ROW market. In this sense, we have to check the even for the risk also. And coming to like data privacy and security. So in this data privacy means if you have a large data nowadays, like cyber security issues are happening, they are taking off a data from that software. We have to maintain a cloud base and security for the your software. That is nothing but we are having of ISO certified company. We don't allow our people to carry the mobile phones even in our work places. We don't allow like work from home to take the laptops to do the personal things. So it will create a huge impact for our this documentation part. And coming to workforce and labor rights, so defining about labor law and gig economy workers, so right sourcing services. So according to this there is more development for the AI. So here the people will be like they will be reducing. If before, usually for paper format they used to prepare for 10 to 15 people used to have in the PCT like paper format preparing for the dossier. But it was now automated ECT tool came into the picture. So out of 5 people, only one people can do that submissions by using of a single click in multiple locations. So this is our I can give you briefly about like a career prospective scenario. If you are from like pharma or life science background, you can go as a regulatory affair manager. Like for first you can go for that API regulatory. API regulatory means nothing but filing for the DMF CEP. That is a thing for the API. And you can go for the formulation. After the API was done, it will go into the formulation regulatory. So these are some of the departments. We can see that medical device regulatory and biotech products and nutraceutical and cosmeceuticals filings will be there. And you can go even for the licensing department. Means in licensing department it involves like loan license, in license, out license, where you can do that renewals of that license, and you can check the facility whether they have licensed in that countries, or they have ready availability of that certificate and all. And you can go for regulatory writing and the compliance manager, that is of nothing but between preparation of module 4 and 5, medical writing and toxicology report, and pharmacovigilance, preparing of this clinical and non-clinical part. That for that also you can go. And you can stretch it out for even for the government sector. You can go even for the inspector for the GMP, for different agencies in government sector. You can even go for the US FDA or EMA or any other agencies like TGA. You can go for the as a inspector. This is a part for the regulatory career prospectus in regulatory affairs. And coming to regulatory operation management, as I discussed, we can go for the regulatory as a project manager, and you can go for regulatory intelligence and the strategist to file the to for the publishing activities in ECTD format. And you can go for publishing and submission, management, as we discussed for the in digital era, how you can do submissions and all. And even you can go for the business development manager also, between the company and the client and the agency. That is called the pre-sales. Means from end to end, until drug development to until the costing. So these are some of the career perspectives you can be in of regulatory affairs. And coming to this is our presentation. So before that, I'll go to my tool, and once I will be explaining how this about this part in the website. You can go and see. Just wait for 1 minute. I will be logging in this tool.
Anyone having any doubts?
అన్నా ఎవరికైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి. రియల్ టైమ్ లో వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్ హిమ్.
Sir, I'm keeping this is ఒకసారి tool చూపిస్తున్నాను sir, how it will work. ఇది compliance loop అంటే we are looking for that. So in this tool, so in this tool I discussed about the compliance loop. No, in this compliance loop you can set it out for the CDM and CR1 clinical laboratories. Once I'll be signing in this tool. 1 minute sir, I'm signing in this. How it will work?
Yeah. Just go.
One minute sir, I'm just
మాస్ దాంట్లో చెక్ చేస్తున్నా.
మాస్ పెట్టాను. ఓకే, 1 minute సంథింగ్ ఓటీపీ ఒకటి రావాలి సార్. ఇదే కదా జస్ట్ ఓకే సార్, చెప్పు ఒకసారి. 977. ఓకే. This is AI tool where you can set it out for the CMO, CRO, preclinical stability, and ATL and sustainability. So currently we are working with this six criterias. For example, like facility search means if you're going with any company, if you have some requirement, let's say you have any paracetamol or any gel manufacturers you are looking. Again, if you're going to Google or Chat GPT, it will create a lot of time, and in some of the websites also they will not mention the company accreditations. For example, if I'm going here, so if I'm looking for an API facility, so for example if I'm going here, so if I'm looking for any onco drugs, so again if I want that facility is located in Asian continent, and if I need the facility in let's say in India, so if I say less in Andhra Pradesh only, so this tool will automatically will give the details. So it will be easier to identify whether the company has this sort of accreditations, or whether the company has how much of manufacturing lead time and facility, and what are the in-house capabilities. So in this I filtered like seven companies are there with this category. So I filtered about APS. So if I went to like onco drugs, so onco drugs it will consist of all related to cancer in Asia, like in India, state Andhra Pradesh. So regulatory approval they have like USFDA or MHRA. So the compliance. So the some companies doesn't have the compliance. So better should not go with this non-compliance part. So this is how it will work to search the companies. This is of AI tool. And second thing we can discuss about here, if you go to like complaisance. So complaisance is generally, as I mentioned you, for example, if someone inspector came and inspected your facility, so he found that some water is was not good, like API impurities. API has lot of impurities. In this tool, if you keep the warning letter and observation, so ultimately it will create that kappa report. So this is of we have included in this tool, but it is still didn't launch. In coming days we are launching this tool also. So this is a 480 observations, and this is of some warning letters which we have done for the trial in this tool, like description, like a aseptic processing area or deficient regarding for maintaining any controls means in this the aseptic area was not good. So it will ultimately generate this solution like kappas, how to rectify that part. So here like voluntary action indicated, non-voluntary action indicated, officially voluntary action indicated. So voluntary means they can ratify within 2 months or the 3 months. So no action indicated means there is, so the company doesn't have any warning letter, so the company is in the compliant part only. If you go to official action indicated means immediately they need to change that material, or immediately they need to change that water, immediately they need to do some checks for that preparation of that drugs or some of the molecule. So it will give this tool of the how many categories, like for example if you have audited for food and drugs, this is a small graph which was estimated from different companies and which was trained from 2 lakh observations, and we included 1,30,000 plus sites and facilities inspection details in this like AI tool. So this in this tool also we can set it out like investigator name and how much, like Sulan has investigated like 482 inspected sites, though they have country counted of one. So when this countries of inspection was done in like United States like this, you can estimate in this tool. This is of some of the tools which was developed by our company. That's it, sir.
Please, students, anyone having any doubt?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dheeraj. Gayatri?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, one and all.
Yes.
Myself, Gayatri, On behalf of the Department of Regulatory Affairs, Sri Vishnu College of Pharmacy, I sincerely thank our esteemed speaker, Mr. Dheeraj Kotagiri sir, from Industry Iceberg Solutions for his valuable and insightful session on Regulatory Affairs 4.0 Industrial Perspectives in the Digital Era. I also express my gratitude to our respected principal, management, faculty members, organizing committee, and all the participants for making this webinar successful. Thank you everyone for your presence and participation. Have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Venkateswara sir. Thank you, Prasanthi madam, and thank you, one and all. Thank you, Mohan Varma sir. Sir, how are you after a long time?
Mohan Verma sir.
Maybe sir is in mute and
Okay, Dheeraj, thankful.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, we are ending the session.
Okay, thank you, Dheeraj. Thank you, ma. Thank you very much
Yes, sir.
for your
Okay, sir.
presentation.
Don't.
And
Okay.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dheeraj, thank you.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Thank you all. We are ending the